Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be story time, and this story actually took place last week. So I'm older than most of my stories that I do. I'm 38. Before I get into the story, I want to stress how important it is for people to learn CPR and first aid because you just never know when it can come in handy. It really is a lifesaver. So, as I said earlier, this takes place last week. I believe it's about uh, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. So, I do a lot of pen pals. I have a lot of pen pals from just all over the place. So, in a couple of those pen pals that I've been doing them for a while. So, and known them for a long time. And, one person that we'll call Jay lives in the United States. He lives in, Illinois. I believe it's Chicago, but it might not be. So, uh, we've been writing back and forth for a while now, and we started calling each other. So I'm on the phone with him. He's gonna be moving to Ohio in a couple of months to take a new job there. So I was talking to him on the phone, and there was a lot of background noise, a lot of thumping and banging, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he was like, oh, my buddy is over. We've been friends for like ever. He's visiting. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't really tell me why I'm hearing all these noises in the background. And he's like, oh, we're just horsing around. We're wrestling around. And I'm like, right. Yeah. It's all fun and games until somebody blinks their head. So, well, they're continuing to horse around and wrestle around and whatnot. And I'm continuing to talk to him. And I hear this big thump, as if something big hit the ground. And then there's this big scream. Ah! And I'm like, okay, what happened? And he's like, oh my god, my friend fell off the couch, and I think he broke his ankle. Oh, how did he break his ankle falling off the couch? I mean, couch isn't really that high off the ground, so how do you break a bone from falling off the couch? I don't get it. And he's like, well, my couch, the wood part is, it's got wood on it. My couch has wood on it. Okay, not understanding how somebody could break a bone from falling off the couch just because there's wood on it. I don't get it. And he goes, well, it's thick wood. Okay, still not understanding. Well, his leg hit the couch. He fell onto his butt and his legs flipped over and his ankle hit the wood. At a weird angle, real hard, real fast. And I'm like, well, I guess that could happen. Okay. So, well, now, again, I have taken first aid and CPR classes. I took it in college. And before then, because when I was a teenager, I was a lifeguard. So I had to take first aid and CPR classes. So I am like, okay, well, is your friend bleeding? Yeah, he is. He's like, yeah, he is. Okay, is he bleeding a lot? Yeah, kinda, yeah. Alright, well, you're gonna need to get a towel or a washcloth or something that's like that, that's clean, and you're gonna have to apply it to his wound. Do you know what direct pressure is? And he's like, yeah, I do. Okay, well, that's what you need to do. So, he goes and he does that, and, sure enough, there's, ah! SOB! And I'm like, yeah, well, yep, you're doing it right. So, well, wait for, a little bit, few minutes. I'm like, okay, check it. Is it still bleeding? A little, not much. Okay, well, you could probably not put so much pressure. Now check his ankle. Are you sure it's broken? Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, can you see the bone? Yeah, I see the bone. Like, it's sticking out. Yeah, I see it. Do I push it back in? No, don't push it back in, man. I was trying to make sure that it's for sure broken and not like a hairline fracture or something, but it's definitely a clean break. If you can see it, don't try to push it back in. Okay, you're gonna need to make some sort of splint to keep his leg still, his ankle. So, let's see, do you have any boxes, like moving boxes? And he's like, oh yeah, sure, I got a ton of those. Okay, well, you grab a couple of the tops to them, preferably the same length, and you're going to put them on either side of his ankle. Okay, so he goes and he does that, and okay, now what? Okay, now you need some sort of wood. Let's see, do you have a broom or a mop? And he goes, yeah, I got both of those. Okay, is the handle made out of wood? And he's like, yep, it sure is. Okay, go get that and break it into two pieces. You want two equal size pieces, about 2 to 3 feet in length, and no bigger than that. So he does that, and he goes, okay, now what? Well, now you're going to put those on the side of his ankles right up against the cardboard that you just put up against his ankle. Okay, now what? Now you need something that's going to hold it in place, some sort of string or something that's going to be sturdy like string. Oh, okay, do you have any shoes? Shoes or boots that have laces? And he's like, yeah, I got a couple pairs. Okay, you need about 3 pairs of laces, shoelaces. And he goes and he gets them and he goes, okay, what now? Well, now you're going to tie the laces onto the string and the cardboard and your friend's ankle to keep it on there. So you're going to do one at the bottom, one at the middle, and one at the top. You want it kind of tight, but not where it's like cutting off your circulation. So you want it to be, firm, but not like constricted. Okay. Now what? Well, you can give him aspirin, Tylenol, whatever for the pain. I suggest now you got to get him to a hospital so he can have his ankle set. Doctor can set it. I suggest you drive him to the hospital because it'll be a lot cheaper. But, I mean, you can call an ambulance and they will come and take him to the hospital, but I suggest you drive him there because it'll be just so much cheaper. Anybody that's ever ridden in an ambulance knows what I'm talking about. A 5-minute ride is like $10,000. So he goes, okay, well, then I got to let you go because I got to take my buddy to the hospital. I'm like, okay, sure. Understood. It's fine. No problems. So he goes, and of course, we had been talking in the evening about, 5, 6 o'clock my time. I'm in California, so It's Pacific time. He's in Illinois, so he's about 2 hours ahead of me. So it's about 5, 6 o'clock my time. It's more like 8, 9 o'clock his time. So, he hangs up, and I'm guessing he takes his friend to the hospital. I'm not there, so I don't really know. But I don't hear back from him that night, and considering that he took his buddy to the hospital, that's really not all that surprising. So, the next day, right around, 2-ish my time, so it was probably about, 4 or 5 his time, he calls me up and says, well, my buddy went to the hospital, his ankle's all fixed up, you know your stuff. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he goes, well, when I took him in and the doctor saw him and saw the little splint that I made, he was like, this is just perfectly done. How did you know to do this? And he was like, well, I didn't know to do it. My buddy that I was talking to on the phone when it happened walked me through what to do. And the doctor was like, well, your buddy that walked you through what to do knows exactly what she's doing, because this is just perfect. This is great. So, he got his ankle all patched up and put in a cast and whatnot, and he's gonna be fine. So, but again, like I said, you never know when that stuff will come in handy. First aid, CPR. I mean, I've done stuff like that before. I was able to help a friend of mine that was a first-time mom with her baby that was choking. She's standing there freaking out. Well, sitting there freaking out. Oh my god, my baby's choking. Oh my god. And I'm like, would you give me that thing before you kill it? And, I was able to do, not the Heimlich, because you don't do the Heimlich on a baby, but I was able to dislodge the thing that was blocking her airway. I'll do a story time on that another time. So just make sure you learn CPR and first aid, at least basic first aid, because you just never know when this stuff is going to come in handy. I mean, I didn't think I'd ever use first aid skills talking on the phone, but apparently it does come in handy. So you can actually save lives, and I'm sure I helped save his leg, or his ankle, rather. I mean, his buddy may not have known not to do what to do. And people also tend to freak out when there's an emergency. Something like a broken bone or, whatever. So, I mean, first aid and CPR training, they have those all over the United States. Most schools, especially like colleges and stuff, will teach those. You can sign up for that. If they don't, they teach them all over the towns and stuff at different times during the year, so you can look into when your town will be doing first aid and CPR classes. Usually first aid and CPR classes are hand in hand, so if you sign up for one, you're going to be learning the other as well. So, but it's just really good stuff to know, because you just never know when it's going to come in handy, and you can actually save a life or really help somebody knowing these things. And I mean, even if you're a kid, kids get all kinds of attention from learning first aid and CPR and Heimlich maneuver and all kinds of stuff, because most kids nowadays don't know that stuff. So if you're a kid and you learn that and you're able to use it to help save somebody, people are just going to think you are like a superhero. Of course, my friend was thinking I was a superhero, and I'm like, nope, not a superhero, just a regular person. I just know CPR and first aid. I took those classes back when I was in college. Before that, I was a lifeguard, so I had to take that stuff. And it's actually really good stuff to know because it really, really can save lives. And it can also really help somebody. So I personally think it is something that everyone should look into learning. There's all kinds of books about it. I'm sure you can find videos on YouTube and stuff on how to do it. I'll probably, if you guys are interested, I can show you a few things to do. I can get a friend of mine or something to help me with showing what to do. For like the Heimlich maneuver, CPR, rescue breathing, all kinds of stuff. I mean, first aid and CPR training, they teach you a lot of stuff on all kinds of things on how to help somebody that is in distress and needs help. And during those times, seconds count. You may not think so, but those precious seconds that are taken by while you're waiting for the ambulance or the fire truck or the police department to come, yeah, all those people do know that stuff. But you can learn it too in those precious seconds that are taken away. You might be able to save life. So go ahead and look into it. Again, if you guys are interested, I can show you some stuff to do, how to do like a Heimlich maneuver, um, stuff like that. So if you're interested, go ahead and comment that below, and I will definitely do a video on it because that is just great stuff to know. You really can save lives. You really can end up helping somebody to maybe not necessarily saving their life because maybe it's not a life-threatening situation, but you still can help them out. Maybe now their leg is better and not as hurt as it would be because you knew what to do. So, I mean, CPR and first aid is just, it's a great thing to know. I can't stress that enough. So if you want to learn like the Heimlich maneuver and stuff like that, go ahead, comment that below, and I'll be sure to do a video on, basic first aid and like the Heimlich maneuver and stuff like that. So, well, that's it for story time. That's it for the video today. So, be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to share the video with your friends and your family. And we'll see you on the next video. Gotta fly.